So now let's talk about the Batman trailer. So after I uploaded the Batman vs. Superman trailer on July 4th of 2017, which is so cool because it's Michael Bay, July 4th.
This July 4th.
Let's kick a little asteroid butt!
Get out of town forever.
So much fun, it's freaky!
Armageddon, rated PG-13, non-play.
It was so cool. I uploaded that. I also uploaded the theatrical cut where I did Anthony watching the video, and that was supposed to be the theatrical cut. Like, that's the real version of the fan trailer, because I wanted to do, like, how about I do a fan trailer and then you just do a reaction to it, and that's the final cut.
Ah, Brainiac! The skull ship! The skull ship! That's Superman.
After that, I think I started focusing on my whole, like, mini documentary about why I love the DC universe. It's kind of heavily dated. Like, I got some points where I'm like, yeah, Justice League was 90s schlock, like, complete, but, like, it completely dropped all of the hope and optimism that was set up in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. All that shit was dropped, but all that 90s schlock was in there, so I was like, kind of a win-win. But if you go to watch it now, it's heavily dated, but some of the ideas are basically the same. I still love Man of Steel. I still love Suicide Squad in my own special way, but there's some points in there I'm like, I wish I could cut out, but I left it in there and was like, But anyway, go check that out. It's right here. So after I did that video, I was like, okay, I think I want to do it finally. So back in 2014, I know, we're going back again. In 2014, I made a list on Tumblr of all the trailer mashups and other ideas I wanted to do as videos. And one of them was The Dark Knight, 1998. A bunch of other different ideas. I want to do a serious George Clooney Batman trailer. That's never been done. I haven't seen it done anyway. If it has been done, link it to me. I want to see it. I'm talking about taking George Clooney from, like, Solaris, Out of Sight, Ocean's 11, 12, 13, all those movies, use those monologues, and make a serious Batman with George Clooney, because he's a good actor. He just got a shitty script. And I wanted to do, like, you could have done The Dark Knight in 1998. That was my whole idea. Like, you could have done it back then. So, like, you had Bill Pullman as Two-Face, which I had that idea in 2014. That's how long ago this is. And I think at that time, I think I wanted to have Denzel Washington as Gordon. I'm not sure if that came around, like, over the years, but I think early on I wanted to use clips from The Siege. Definitely wanted to use clips from The Siege, because The Siege is, like, ultimate clip fodder. If you want to use clips for a war movie or something like that, use The Siege. I wanted to use clips from The Negotiator, because that's in, like, Chicago, and it looks like fucking The Dark Knight the whole time in that movie. So I'm like, I want to use those clips. So instead of using George Clooney to make The Dark Knight 1998, I'm like, just make it in the same universe. It'd be so cool to actually build my own DC universe. So that's where it started. So I'm like, okay, so just put Bruce Willis in the trailer and have him go against Gordon. It'd be so sweet. And then you got, like, Bill Pullman doing his speech from Independence Day. We will not go quietly into the night. Oh my God, so much hype. But of course, I had to wait. I had to wait until Justice League came out in DVD, and I had to wait until Death Wish.
Everybody's watching this viral video. Is this dude right for taking the law into his own hands? Hey!
Bruce Willis is Batman. That's so cool. So I'm like, okay, I got to use those clips too. So around the same time, Justice League and Death Wish should be coming out on DVD. Nope. They pushed the movie to 2018 of February. So I was like, oh, fuck. I can't use that. So it just put ideas on hold. So I did that time travel movie with Reset with Bruce Willis. That's the whole reason why it's Bruce Willis in that trailer, because I'm like, I got all these movies of Bruce Willis right now to do the Batman trailer, but I can't do the Batman trailer. So I did Reset. So after Justice League comes out on DVD, and then Death Wish comes out on DVD, finally get the ball rolling. Starting to get, like, all the ideas out there. And this time, I can use Hans Zimmer. Because the whole idea is that Hans Zimmer copy-pasted his music from Black Rain to do The Dark Knight. So I was like, oh shit, that's great. Use a Black Rain, the soundtrack for the whole trailer. And I use all those different clips and use Gordon, like fucking Denzel. Denzel's like my second favorite actor. It's like Bruce Willis, Denzel. So they were both in the trailer. I both know their movies. I have most of their movies in my own DVD collection. So I'm like, I got that down. And I was a little bit worried with Bill Pullman doing the speech from Independence Day, because it's pitch perfect for a Batman trailer when he goes, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not go out without a fight. Things like that. It's like, oh man, that's perfect. Like he's getting the crowd ready to, like, fucking eradicate the Joker out of the city. And I wanted to use that clip from Spider-Man when Dafoe's saying, like, you and I are not so different. Like, because that's the whole speech that Joker does in The Dark Knight. I started putting the idea out there, and some people kind of made fun of it. Like, oh yeah, then he says this. I'm like, it sounds stupid, doesn't it, though? And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Just fucking keep going with it. So I made the Batman trailer. And I approached it as a prequel, because I asked everyone, like, should I do it as a sequel? Should it take place after Batman vs. Superman, or should it be before? And everyone said it should have been a sequel. Like, oh yeah, it takes place after Batman vs. Superman. But I thought, it can't. It really can't. Because, with my version, like, the Batman, what I'm doing with it, is like, he is starting out. He's a little bit older. He's Bruce Willis age. He's like his mid-30s, 40s, starting out as Batman. So he can't really, be like that young kid anymore. So when he starts out, he's really not trying to cross the line. He's not supposed to be bad. He's just starting out. So in that Batman movie, he crosses the line at some point. That's the whole idea. He crosses the line. So in Batman vs. Superman, that makes him the guy who wants to kill Superman. You know what I mean? He's the guy who doesn't trust Superman because he just fucking went through this whole ordeal with the Joker and kind of had a falling out with Gordon. They're still kind of friends, but they're just like kind of falling out because something happens. They lose Gordon. They use a Harvey Dent, of course. They lose him. I'm not sure if he's still going to be alive yet. I don't know if I want to use an older Bill Pullman in the Dark Knight Returns, so it's still up in the air if he lived or not. But my whole idea is that the falling out they had was over Harvey Dent, and Batman crossed that line, and now since he's crossed that line, there's no stopping him. So that's why he's like punching people, and he has the brand in that trailer for Batman vs. Superman, because the idea is that the Batman takes place before Batman vs. Superman. So that. And then the next one will be Justice League, definitely. So in my universe, it's going to be the Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, and then Green Lantern is sort of a standalone, not really referencing anything to the other ones. Yeah, basically, the Batman is a prequel to Batman vs. Superman and the universe. So now that you're basically caught up with everything in the fan trailers, let me get to you guys' questions, because you guys asked a lot of good questions. Sorry about the format change. As I was answering the questions, the camera died, so I'm letting the camera recharge, and I figured I'd just start over by using my microphone. So the first question I have here is from Zedkate. If Cusack is Superman, Willis is Batman, Zeta Jones is Wonder Woman, who would play Green Lantern and Flash? Obviously, I think I've been saying this online for a couple of years now. Tom Cruise is my Green Lantern. I think I've been saying it since at least 2014, maybe 2015. I know me and Anthony have been talking about it on Twitter for years. And it's so cool to hear that there's rumors that Tom Cruise might be the Green Lantern. And that's a lot of fun, but for my fan trailer, it would definitely be Tom Cruise. And the actor I would use for Flash would be Freddie Prinze Jr. He was a hot actor back in the late 90s, early 2000s. He was very popular, and I wouldn't need that much from him. I would just need a few reaction shots, probably a line or two about responsibility, and then all the other stuff would be just clips from Justice League of Ezra Miller in the suit, or maybe the TV show. I don't know the actor's name, but, the TV show version of Flash, or maybe a video game commercial where Flash is running around and doing some fun stuff. But yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. would be my Flash, just to fit that 90s aesthetic. The next question I have here is from Raider768. Are there more DC Universe videos coming up? I love the Batman one. Yes, of course there is. I'm working on the Dark Knight Returns right now. I want to do Justice League. I'm not sure what I can do with Justice League at this point. It's going to be hard to do because I'm running out of Bruce Willis clips because, like all actors, they age out. I've been using a lot of movies from, I used Color of Night and, what's the other movie? Bonfire of the Vanities. So all those clips are basically used up of that 80s, early 90s Bruce, and he's starting to lose his hair with movies like The Jackal and the Armageddon movie, so I'm a little bit limited now. And the same thing with John Cusack. With John Cusack, everything before 93, he looks too young, and everything after like 2005, 2007, he looks way too old. So there's a small amount of movies I could use to use them for Superman and Batman. So that's going to be very difficult. And the same thing with Catherine Zeta-Jones. She only did like a certain amount of movies during that time, and she ages quickly too. So it's like, it's going to be very difficult to do that Justice League trailer, but I want to try it somehow. I might just do it simple like a 90s Batman, where I might just use the Danny Elfman music and just make it total retro, like, oh, look how cheesy this is. I might do that. It might be the easier route, but it'll at least be done of like, hey, this is what my Justice League would probably look like. Okay, and the next questions I have here are from Groovy Spiderham on Twitter. His first question is, what inspired you to cast John Cusack as Clark Kent? I already answered that earlier in the video, but of course it's the Max Landis video. That's what sparked the idea that snowballed to make my DC universe.
We are the spark for the light, the fire.
Obviously, you have to work with the limitations of your footage you have, but in your universe, would Clark Kent wear glasses? John Cusack is such the everyman, you wouldn't need him to wear glasses. You know, he just disappeared in a crowd. And like when he's Superman, most people are looking at the suit. You know what I mean? You always look at the Superman S. You never look at the guy. You mostly look at the suit. So I don't think I really have Clark Kent wear glasses in my universe. It would just be like a little fun reference, like look at this, and like, yeah, I don't need those, something like that. Sounds terrible, but that's what my Clark Kent would probably do, or at least I would do in my version of the DC universe if it was a real movie. So the third part to Groovy Spider-Ham's question is, in the Batman and Batman vs Superman, does Bruce have two suits? Oh yeah, because I jump between the footage. Yes, in my universe, Batman would have different suits. He would dress for the occasion. He's not like a one suit guy. So Batman would definitely have like a tactical suit, an armored suit, a stealth suit, things like that. Because you got to sell the action figures, so you got to have different suits. Because I remember someone complained on my video, like, it takes me out of it. You're jumping between the Batman suits. It's like, A, why would I want to limit myself? And B, of course Batman's going to have different suits. I don't see Batman having one suit. I would see him having multiple suits. The next question I have here is from Nathan Snyder, hashtag release a Snyder Cut. He asks, what kind of software do I use to do the VHS aesthetics? I use my editing program. I edit it normally. If there's any high definition clips like a video game footage, I usually, soften that before I export it so it kind of matches the film look. And then after I export it via Windows Media Player, so it plays on the Xbox 360. I put the video on the USB, put it on the Xbox 360, and the Xbox 360 is connected to my VCR. I put a VHS in the VCR. I record the video from the Xbox. After I record it on VHS, I have a little box called like VidBox that converts VHS to digital files, so that's what I use. It's a whole rigmarole process, but I just want to use an actual VCR and VHS to do my effects. The next comment I have here is from Kirk Beatty, hashtag SpamShadesAtNight. His question is, if you were to go back in time and make this film, would you have a scene where Lois Lane rides a kitty ride horse?
No.
The next question I have here is from Parth on Twitter. He says, what were the things you really wanted to fit in but just couldn't? I explained in the video, and for the Batman vs. Superman, I wanted to have like the entire series. I wanted to have the Justice League introduced, but that was just too much for one video. And the only thing I ended up cutting from the Batman trailer, because that one I had a basic idea of what I wanted to do, and it was pretty much tight. But I had to get rid of some redundancies, so there was a whole scene after Nicole Kidman says, this guy is crazy. I had a whole other scene where the clip from Seven where Arlie Ermey is like, the only thing we know about this guy right now is he's totally insane. That was cut out just because it was redundant. I already had Nicole Kidman saying the guy was crazy. It's like, okay, we get it, he's crazy. It's the Joker, blah. So that's why it was cut out. So the next question I have here is from John Schott. He's my friend from high school. Hi, John. His question is, where is Robin? I think I've gotten this question a lot, like, hey, would you have Robin? Who would play Robin? I don't think my universe would have Robin. I'm not a huge fan of Robin. I don't really think he's necessary. Especially for my videos I'm doing, I'm only going to do the Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, and then The Dark Knight Returns. The only Robin I'm going to probably feature is Carrie Kelly, because that's the only one I really like, because I like the whole idea of a runaway girl from a broken home. It's a kid who looks up to the old generation and says, yeah, let's do that, let's become a hero. I like that idea. I know people like Dick Grayson and all that, but, I'm not a huge fan, and just, limited clip choices. All I would have is Chris O'Donnell from the Batman movies, so I would try to find an actor in his age, and you can't really hide his face, so that's all I have clips to use. And I know people are probably going to say, oh, you got the new clips from the new Robin show, Teen Titans or whatever it's called. It's like, nah, I don't want to use that either. So I'm going to try to avoid Robin as much as I can with my movie, my DC universe, just because I don't think he's necessary. Particularly for my videos. The next question is another question from Parth. What the heck? He says, how set was the structure of the video, and do the clip and music changes happen a lot? For the Batman vs. Superman one, I mostly knew I wanted to use the Armageddon theme, because I thought that'd be really cool to use, just to have a reference to the 90s. And it's such a great theme, that Armageddon theme. And I wanted to use the Superman theme for the beginning, because it's that Superman. It's introducing you to a familiar world with the Superman theme by John Williams, and then it throws you into the deep end with the Gimme Some Lovin', which is also a reference to that video I played earlier with Max Landis, where he's discussing and promoting American Alien. And it's also a reference to the movie Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, that Gimme Some Lovin'. So, because in that movie it's sort of like Top Gun but with race cars, so I wanted to have that feeling with the Superman movie, where it's like, this is a fun version of Superman that you haven't seen before. And then for the Batman trailer, I just wanted to use all music from Hans Zimmer from Black Rain, because it was so specific, that tone and beat and stuff he did. I had to use the entire soundtrack for Black Rain. So if you were to ask me what tracks I used, I wouldn't know, because I just mixed everything up from Black Rain to make the Batman music for that trailer. So the music's pretty much set for those things. I just have to play with it a little while, just to get it right. And the structure is, let's see, the structure I think changes, like definitely for Batman versus Superman. As you guys know, I changed it from Christopher Reeve versus Michael Keaton to Michael Keaton versus Hush, and then the very limited idea of Ben Affleck versus Christopher Reeve, which lasted like a minute. But yeah, that changed a lot, but I had a basic general idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to introduce Superman and introduce Batman, and probably Gene Hackman as the corporation Lex Luthor, which I thought was really fun. So yeah, it does change, but it's also, I have a basic idea of what I want to do. Ethan Walsh from Twitter asks, what would your ideal Justice League cast be, and who would be the villain? I don't know who's going to be the villain. I think I just might use Steppenwolf with a different voice actor from the movie Justice League, because the effects are so bad it looks like it's from the 90s anyway, so I might just do that. Or I might have Brainiac come back again. I don't know. I'm not sure who will be the villain for the Justice League, but I think you guys already know who my cast is. Bruce Willis, Batman, John Cusack, Superman, Catherine Zeta-Jones as Wonder Woman, Freddie Prinze Jr. as Flash, Tom Cruise as Green Lantern, if I'm going to use him, and I definitely want to use Owen Wilson as Aquaman. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that at this point right now, but I definitely want to do it. I have some clip choices I want to use from the movie The Haunting, where there's some interaction between him and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
What's the deal with the Addams Family mansion? I gotta be honest, I don't get a real strong sleep vibe from this place.
And he could be talking about Bruce Wayne's house, so that's really fun. So yeah, I definitely want to use Owen Wilson as Aquaman, because to me that'd be perfect. If it were the 90s movie, Aquaman would definitely be Owen Wilson, like, wow, I'm Aquaman.
This is historic. Guys, this is like deep blue hero stuff. Of course I'm in.
And the next question I have here is from Ultra Sergeant on Twitter. He says, nice, I'd love to know what inspired the casting choices and if you plan to do any other DC heroes besides your Batman trailer. Also, perhaps some insight on what happened so far in this DC universe, any notable comic events like the death of Jason Todd. My casting choices, I think I've explained, and some insight on what happened so far in the DC universe. So to answer that question, okay, so far. So the first movie in the series is The Batman, and in that movie, Batman is just starting out. He's late in his career. He's probably in his 30s or 40s. He just basically is like a vigilante who has like a lot of money, and he starts kicking ass and stuff like that. And basically he's just kind of loosely cleaning the streets up. He's like beating the bad guys up and like leaving them tied up. Things like that. And he's working with Gordon, because Gordon is sick with like the police force and whatnot, and he has like too many rules to follow. So he's like, you know what, let me work with this Batman guy. This Batman guy seems to be knowing what's going on, and we both seem to be on the right track to clean up the city, because Gordon's sort of brand new. He has a daughter who would have played by the actress from The Lost World. She was also in The Little Princess. I forget her name. I don't know. She was Kelly in The Lost World. So that would be his daughter. I'm not sure who would the wife be, but he recently moved to Gotham City, and he realizes that Batman is doing the right thing, so they kind of team up. And he's like, I just want your skill set to help me out here. Because, Batman's a smart guy. He's lived in Gotham all his life. And I think it would almost be like a midlife crisis for Bruce Wayne, where he's finally realized what his troubles were. It's mostly with his death of his parents, and he doesn't really want that to happen again with anybody else, so he becomes Batman. And as they're cleaning up the streets, the extreme happens. A fucking terrorist comes along, and it's the Joker. And I would treat him as a terrorist. I would not treat him as a comic book villain. He would have, like, monologues. He would send the police, like, a videotape, sort of like a scene from the movie Blown Away.
When thinking of the man and the women who sacrificed life itself, my suffering seems insignificant.
No.
Yes, we know you tried to stop the bomb, Liam, but isn't it true you helped the mad bomber build it? Answer the question, Liam, yes or no?
Well, when I built the bomb, I didn't mean for anyone to get hurt. It was the mad bomber. Peace on earth, goodwill toward men, make love not war. Yes, yes, yes.
It's a bit late for all of that, Liam. The time is at hand. And you, Liam, my boy, were the first begotten of the dead. It'll do you a lot of good in the long run.
I want me dead, I want me dead. He's not home, Liam. He's gone to war. Oh, no! You'll have to be a big boy now, Liam. Come, my little wretched refuse. Let me dry your tears. Here, show us your face, Liam. And I'll dry your tears.
I would have something like that with the Joker, and he's just like fucking with the police, and it's gone so bad. Like, a lot of people have died that the government gets involved and the president gets involved, and they have to do a shakedown of Gotham because Gotham is just a little island, so they close it off. Think of it as like Manhattan. Think of it as like the movie The Siege. If you've ever seen the movie The Siege, that's pretty good. Like, just have The Siege with a little bit of Seven, with a little bit of Blown Away, and that's a perfect Batman movie. You know what I mean? In my movie, I think the twist would be that Harvey Dent has been working with the Joker, so that's why Joker's been getting his henchmen, and that's how he's been working with like being one step ahead of the government, because he's been working with Harvey Dent, because he's kind of blackmailing Harvey Dent because he knows he's troubled. And I think that would be the falling out between Batman and Gordon, where something happens with Harvey Dent. Of course, you know, he turns the Two-Face. I'm not sure if I'm going to have him die yet, because I might have an older Bill Pullman in The Dark Knight Returns. I'm still up in the air about that yet, because right now it's just going to be a simple trailer, so I'm not sure what I'm 100% going to do. So Gordon and Batman are on the outs, and then that's when we introduce to Superman. So Batman versus Superman is mostly a Superman movie. We see his origin, and then we see him move to Metropolis, and there's probably going to be like a dating scene with him and Lois Lane, where she probably flirts with him, and we'll have that glasses scene where she says, hey, since you're Superman, you probably have to hide that you're Superman, so they throw on a pair of glasses on like Clark Kent, and she says, you don't need those, you know, like that. And of course, in this universe, it's Gene Hackman as an older Lex Luthor, who is the corporation Lex Luthor. It's no connection to the older Superman movies. It's just a reference to the old Superman movies. Gene Hackman is just playing a different version of Lex Luthor. He's playing the corporation Lex Luthor, which would be really cool. So I remember in my outline for my Batman versus Superman trailer is that the whole idea is that Gene Hackman like plans some crazy ass thing, and then Superman totally, you know, beats him. He beats Gene Hackman at the game, and then Gene Hackman's like, I underestimated you, Superman, but don't you ever underestimate me, you know? And then the next day, that would be when the invasion happens, because it turns out that Gene Hackman has also been contacting a message from space, which happens to be like a Brainiac with Doomsday. So in that movie, he would just fight Doomsday, and then Brainiac would get away. You know, because it'd just be like Brainiac just drops Doomsday, like, hey, I'm going to have you kill Superman or whatever. He might show up in Justice League, who knows. But, you know, that's what would happen to Brainiac. It'd just be a loose end, but they would drop off Doomsday. Doomsday, you know, kills Superman, or at least almost kills Superman. And then Lois Lane, you know, goes to Bruce Wayne because she knows that he's Batman. I think they'll, you know, talk about it. And that would lead to Justice League, and I'm not sure what's going to happen in Justice League, where it would just definitely be the recruiting scenes, and then some villain, probably be Steppenwolf, just because, you know, save me some time with making a villain. So that's basically what's happened in this DC universe. So the next question I have here is from my friend Anthony. Hi, Anthony. Anthony says, in your universe, would the world outside, what we see, or be sprawling with these superheroes, or just have a handful? Nah, just have a handful. I don't want to get too crazy with this universe, and if it's just a movie from the 90s, I don't want to get too nuts with it. But yeah, that's just basically it. Just Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. If I could do it, I'd do Cyborg, but I don't want to do those visual effects, and it won't be good, it won't look good, so I'm not going to do it. But if I were to do a Cyborg, it'd probably be Will Smith, because at that time it'd be Will Smith. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Next question I have here is from Cade Fisher, with your post-credit sequence in the Batman trailer, what would your take be, or some ideas you've had with the 90s Wonder Woman? She has said some great lines in movies that are perfect for Wonder Woman that I want to use, but I'll just squeeze those into Justice League, because I'm just trying to squeeze everything together. So, like, Batman vs. Superman is basically my Superman movie. Justice League is basically going to be, like, the introduction to Wonder Woman, and, yeah. I think I've explained everything else to that question. Like what my other ideas be, and then what my take on 90s Wonder Woman be. It would just be Catherine Zeta-Jones kicking ass. That's basically it. And since I'm thinking realistically as a mashup, I don't really think of what I could do with a mashup, because I just don't think there's enough clips to do a standalone Catherine Zeta-Jones trailer. It would just be very plain and very drawl and just be music and reaction shots. Nothing really substantial, so I don't really think about it. So yeah, just basically I would try to introduce Wonder Woman in the Justice League trailer just to fill that out. That would be my basic idea of a future video. So that's been today's video. Hopefully that explains my DC universe and how it came to be. And if you have any other questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Thumb up the video if you liked it. Subscribed if you're not already subscribed. If you want to see the full version of that Abandoned Hush trailer I did, check out my backup channel, Site B. I'm going to upload my old projects there and old YouTube poop at some point, so just keep an eye out on Site B for those things. And I'm also working on a super secret big project that's coming up later this year. I got to start working on that. I'm probably going to do some more Frank Ireland shows. I'm not sure, because time is just going to be time crunch these next couple of months. I got a planned trip, and I got some other things going on in my life right now. And that's basically it. Hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully this answered all your questions. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye then.